I'm Michelle Huneven. I've lived in Altadena on and off all of my life. There was a 32-year hiatus, but otherwise here. And I'm a writer, a novelist, and I teach creative writing at UCLA. I was born in Altadena 67 years ago. Altadena was the first air I breathed. Her trees, sky, streets, and mountains, the first I ever knew. Our modest, integrated neighborhood was the world to me. Altadena imprinted me, body and soul, with the way things should be.
Consciousness.
I came into consciousness in a little one-bedroom house on El Nido Drive, way over by the Arroyo Seco. My father, who had moved to Altadena with his family in 1923, had bought a quarter-acre of subdivided lemon grove in 1934 when he was 19. 14 years later, itching to settle down, he began building a tiny house on the property. Shortly, he met my mother at a socialist meeting on Highview in one of the Gregory Ames park-planned homes. 9 months later, they married. I was the second daughter, born in 1953. We soon outgrew that tiny house. The bedroom I shared with my sister was an enclosed front porch, so my father built a larger home on the same lot, one inspired by Ames's modernism, with high wood beams, clear stories, and a white stone roof. I went to Franklin Elementary when it was a brand new school, then to Elliott Junior High, and graduated at 15 from John Muir High, class of '69. Despite my early vows to live all over the world and to be as unlike my parents as possible, I did not, in fact, fall far from the tree. 32 years after I left for college, I moved back to Altadena on September 10th, 2001, the day before the world changed. Amid the ensuing national tumult, it was a glad return to the known. Here again was a hoo-hooing of mourning doves, the cat-piss menthol of eucalyptus, the same prickly oak leaves. Here were the familiar ridgelines of Mount Wilson and Mount Lowe, the same amble up the Arroyo Seco past JPL into the canyon's coolness. Past and present mingled and settled into a deep sense of home. A former resident of my property, the Princeton sociologist David Popenoe, claims that our block is one of the most socioeconomically diverse blocks in the country. Indeed, there are mansions to the north, modest Jane's cottages to the south, and some hodgepodge infill randomly stuffed in between, of which my small 1953 stucco cube on its large flag lot is a prime example. I live next door to Michelle Zach, a friend I made on the first day of high school, more than half a century ago. Other neighbors introduced me to the man I would marry, Jim Potter, who happily joined me here. I love the diversity of Altadena, the presiding mountains, the raffish, idiosyncratic yards and gardens and architecture. The supermarkets of my youth, the shopping bag, the market basket, and the pantry may be gone, but we have our very own Super King and its glorious profusions. Sometimes there, I think the whole world has come to Altadena. Yes, sidewalks would make neighborhood strolls easier, but I like that we haven't worn away all our rustic edges or installed a single parking meter. Roosters crow, horses and their riders wait their turn at the McDonald's drive-through window. For all the changes, Altadena still feels as much as it did 65 years ago, with its mature trees, backyard stables, excellent hardware store. We have more than our fair share of artists, writers, and NASA scientists, eccentrics, soreheads, and Nobel Prize winners. I breathe Altadena's air, drink Rubio Canyon's water, eat fruits and vegetables we grow in Altadena soil. My DNA, no surprise, Altadena, purebred.